Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization, Derek and I are up near the Manaway area. We're at Black Mountain because of the Bigfoot sighting reports that we've gotten from Black Mountain, and down in Manaway in the valley, there's one of the sightings across the valley that was on Finding Bigfoot. So I consider it a Bigfoot sighting hotspot. There's a half a dozen to a dozen sightings here. But we started researching the area several years ago, and we're up here to service some game cameras. We're gonna look for tracks, any type of evidence. Always hope to hit the home run. The last time we was up here, we saw a lot of mountain lion evidence. We've also captured a lot of game on our cameras. There's plenty up here for a Bigfoot to eat. If it eats nuts, berries, elk, deer, moose, rabbits, whatever. Derek and I are up here to check on the place. All right, I started my camera so we heard an animal that direction. One nice thing about this time of year, there's all these crunchy leaves. Even a cougar and a bobcat has a hard time staying silent in this stuff.
And if you listen, you'll hear a mouse.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot harder though.
You hear them rustling through this stuff. Derek's got a 360-degree camera that he's running while we hike. So hopefully we don't miss a thing.
Hopefully it doesn't miss a thing.
I'm just afraid the thing's gonna catch me taking a whiz.
Camera shy, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm not camera shy. I'm just not into that type of into that type of footage. It's one thing, we heard it a couple hundred yards ago on our left. Usually a deer, or an elk, or a moose will go away from you, but it's skirting us. Just heard it off to our left again.
It's this direction over here. Up on this far side of this. We can run off the creek.
And mind you, one of the biggest sets of mountain lion tracks, really crisp, fresh ones that we found in the snow last year, was in this area. There's a good sized mountain lion that lives here, and the dimensions of his tracks, I'm calling him a him because it is a he. Females rarely get more than 4 inches in width, and this was a good 5 inches, so it's a tom. So it's a big one. Lots of game here, so I see why he's here. We've also captured a bobcat on game camera back here too. I'll have to put some of that footage I'm talking about at the end of this video, so make sure you guys watch to the end. We'll put that bobcat and I'll see if I can find the mountain lion tracks that we filmed and photoed. I totally expected to get him on game camera last year, but obviously he's smarter than the cameras.
This looks like a bear
Look,
track.
that looks like a bear track right there, you guys. Looks like a hind track of a bear. See where it stepped up there? Maybe that's what's skirting us today. We keep hearing something on the left hand side of us skirting us today. Last time Derek and I was here, we found black bear tracks.
Yeah.
We found where it was digging and everything. We both have our mace ready to go today. Did you hear that? Hey, I just heard a growl. My camera was facing the direction when it growled too. That was a guttural. It's a grumbly growl. I don't know if mountain lions can get that deep. Maybe a black bear. Or hell, I've heard a Sasquatch making those guttural, low frequency growls. Definitely gonna have to keep my eyes that way. Oh, Derek found an animal trail going off that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're getting action.
Pretty regular that goes just right through here. And you can see where it dug down into the rocks.
That's that bear again. We're definitely up here with the bear. I don't know if you guys can see the front of the track. It comes around to the back. That's a hind track of a black bear. And it's definitely using the trail we've been using.
And it's not that old.
That may very well of what I heard growl.
It is not that old.
Off to the side of the trail. Oh no. Oh no.
The other one wasn't either. In fact, it was still powdery, still fluffy.
It's probably within 24 hours or even fresher. It could have been today.
Yeah, I think today. But I'd agree with it, at least within 24.
A black bear is an omnivore, and I believe a Sasquatch is an omnivore also. So if there's the resources that bear needs up here right now, the Bigfoot that keeps getting spotted here and down in the valley, it's using those same resources. There's no doubt in my mind.
Makes you wonder how well, I guess we'll find out how well these tracks show up on a 360.
I've been keeping the camera faced in the direction we heard something skirting us and growling. Another animal trail. This is the area that we found those mountain lion tracks last year. Last winter.
It's a pretty heavy trail.
Yep. The reason we went back is we saw, on our way back, we saw where it crossed the trail. That's how fresh it was. It crossed behind us after we had passed. And we followed its tracks back in and filmed them. They were nice, crisp, and fresh.
I'm gonna go back here about,
I don't know. I'll walk back with you.
70 feet or so. What's back here anyway? Man, you hate seeing. You can distinctly see where something tramped down right there. It's about 12, 13 inches. You see it?
Yeah, I do see it. It looks bigger than that to me.
Yeah, right here.
You got your tape measure?
I do.
I'll get it for you.
It's in
the big one or the other
the
one?
bigger one. We're looking.
It's like 14.
Got knocked, yeah. That's about 14.
And it looks
Between
much
13,
wider
14.
than a person's.
You can see about 7 inches right there at about the toes. It's about 7 inches crossed.
That's Bigfoot shape and size. That's, even if that bear double stepped, it's not going to make 14-inch long and 7-inch wide. I could see it getting close to 14 inches long, but it wouldn't make that width on the double step. Crazy. That's not the bear. None of those dimensions.
I don't know what that means. Like the hill or something.
Yeah, that's a really wide hill too. You got your tape still? I want to see the width on this hill. I'm looking at over 5 inches on the hill, like 5.5, where it starts to taper. Okay, human dimension is a human never gets more than 4 inches wide, and with the shoe on, you might get 4.25, 4.5. So this being 5.5 inches wide, it's not human. And look, there's the mid-tarsal. The front part, I can't make out where the front ends. All this, these leaves that have fallen down. You can tell that some of these leaves had been smashed at one point in time, though.
I'm wondering if I ran this thing out of space.
Does it stop again?
Yeah, because I mean, we're talking 5.7K resolution at 30 frames a second.
It's more than 4K.
Oh, absolutely. It's 360. It's 5.7K is what it actually is.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, I probably ran it out of space.
Well, since something's been skirting the left side of us, and that's a great lookout spot down on us, I decided to, just every once in a while you get this
It could be sitting up there
feeling.
in the trees, whatever it is, staring at us, and we'll never see it.
So I thought I'd zoom in up there for a second. Great vantage point.
And it's not like they need to worry about where we are. The whole entire valley here is.
Well, that's my tactic. To act like a normal everyday hiker. I don't want to act like I'm a hunter and spook things away, always trying to sneak up on me. I don't think we seem like a threat when we're up here just being normal hikers. Plus, there's crunchy leaves on the ground. And Derek and I are just definitely not going to be able to levitate across this stuff, so why even try and pretend to be quiet?
I heard a big, like it stepped on a rock, like a big rock, and it slid.
See that? We've been doing this enough, we know where animals or creatures are going to observe us. As soon as we started walking away, I quit filming, and Derek heard something like kick a big boulder.
Yeah, it sounded exactly like if you step on a big boulder and it shifts under other rocks as well, you know what I mean?
Was there like a percussion to it?
It was, well, it was more like it just slid a little bit, but I mean, where would it have come from? It was directly this way, right where we've been looking.
I'm going to keep the camera pointed while we... Alright, I got a vantage point right here. I have a hard time seeing anything through this viewfinder.
Well, it's hard to see anything anyway, because I mean,
I just zoom in, and then when we get home we look on a computer monitor.
There's so much, it's so busy, there's so much to look at. And you got a sun that way, you know, this way. To a chipmunk. Because it just let it know, I don't like you, I know you're there.
That chipmunk warning wasn't for us.
No.
It was what you heard up there.
Absolutely. And it perceives as a predator to a chipmunk.
It's got to know that we're trying to find it up there.
So hard to even see anything up there.
Even though a lot of the leaves have dropped, it's still so dang thick.
Well, yeah, you're just, well, you get the light hitting all the branches, so it's just chaos. Just so much that just pulls your eyes in 50 million different directions. It is cool.
This time of year, wearing a little bit of yellow or red just blends in.
We had been here 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. This would have been gorgeous up here. Probably 3 weeks ago. just before that windstorm.
3 weeks ago, I was at the bombing location.
Were you?
Yeah.
Hey, look at this. Snow.
We found some snow. Last year at this time there was 2 feet of snow, so this little skiff is nice. I'm not ready for 2 feet of snow yet.
Whatever it did moved off.
I don't know if you guys have noticed when we were filming, the birds pretty much 90% silent. And now we get to the section where they're doing their thing.
And a good 11-foot snap off. Probably taller than that.
Probably 12 feet up there. And look, I doubt that's wind or snow load. I mean, look at that. There's not that much above it to catch any of that. Almost looks like a purposely made snap off. I know bears will sometimes climb up because these are service berries. Maybe a black bear climbed up there and snapped that.
Or something else.
Yeah, or something that left that 14-inch long track that you filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at these service berries. The Native Americans really like these. They would crush them up and mix them with other things to make like a travel food, like a beef jerky or pemmican. Is that the name of it? I don't know. I probably got the pronunciation wrong. A lot of nutrition in them. So yeah, it's a service berry branch that snapped up there. I've seen turkeys fly up in these and eat them, but I don't think a turkey's snapping that off.
Completely different though. That was kind of in the distance, but that was a...
Something's been stomping around on the left side of us all day.
It was a... I'm not even sure how to describe what it was. That one. Just a very, very low, deep thump.
To thump with some percussion.
Yeah. almost like a bass drum.
That takes some weight to do that. Derek found some Oregon grapes. Another food source. Another food source for the bears and the squatches. If there's some, there's more.
And look at the bent over. And in fact, it looks like there's something even snapped off over there. Something's been
I see the snap.
going up, chewing it. Something pulling all the bark. Is that what that is?
Yeah, the moose will eat the bark in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's been. But you got multiple bendovers that are just...
Yeah, there's a mess of
180,
them.
whole mess of them over there, and bark being ate off of multiple of them. So you got something out there eating them. So I just heard a branch break.
Ooh, I like that smell of the leaves starting to decompose.
Yeah, I had a pretty good visual of it too. I was just thinking if we pan it, if something was...
I'm trying to find a clear spot to zoom in on this cliff so that the camera doesn't focus on the vegetation.
It's about as clear. You got the ends of it coming out over there, and then up there.
I'm gonna see if I can find a better clear spot to zoom in up there. Isn't this where you and I found where the bear was digging the last time?
Yep.
Okay, here's a good clear spot. Sorta, no. I like zooming in up there, see if we can catch something up on the ridge watching us. I know in Sasquatch Canyon every once in a while you'll catch a glimpse of something up on the ridge.
All the damn time.
I've even caught it on camera.
That epic Bigfoot expedition we had, we were catching stuff left and right. Those dark shadows zipping across, going from bush to bush.
That was epic. I've never had a day with more action than that. Check out this destruction.
Yeah, that took on the whole rest of the tree. Split it in half.
That wasn't here at the beginning of the year. That's just, this happened, actually looks really recently because this exposed wood isn't weathered at all.
Windstorm.
Yeah, that was hurricane winds that we had.
Surprised there's not more down.
Yes, that's one of the caves I want to hike up to.
Yeah, not today. That's when we need to go that other route. I bet you that leads up over there.
Just gonna zoom in for a second and make sure there's nothing laying in the cave or peeking out at us. And when I say anything, I'm saying a black bear, a mountain lion, a squatch. If there's anything like that up there, I'd like to catch a glimpse of it. I like it when there's a dusting of snow like this. Be easy to find any fresh Bigfoot tracks. This snow is several days old. I believe the last time it snowed. So if we find any tracks, they would be less than 3 days old. I'm on an animal trail. You can also see where the animals have laid down and stuff here. Nothing since the snow though. There's better places to be right now. There's a helicopter flying over us. Why would it be flying over a remote location? I'm sure they got their reasons. Actually, it looks like a news helicopter. This is the mountain trail that I like to keep an eye on, that goes from the high part of the mountain down into the valley. I captured a lot of stuff on it this last season, so found out that it's a great place to keep camera going, so we're going to keep one here. Look how thick it is in there. I actually think I want a camera pointed into this thick stuff. Here's a wallow area. You can see where something peed all over the ground right here and rolled in it. A lot of animals, when they're in the rut, will roll in their own pee. Natural force. Makes you wonder if that's why the male Bigfoot stinks so bad. If they'll frickin' pee on themselves and roll in it.
Got a bunch of, is that just a lot of bend over stuff there?
I know, it's almost like a fortress area here.
Like
Natural shelter.
like a canopy.
Isn't it weird how you got this canopy of trees, And all this stuff bends over away from this canopy. Major squirrel cache here, and the squirrel cache, something's been coming in and digging up the cache.
It's food, probably raccoon or something.
For that bear that we saw its tracks. We got a game camera right here, if you guys can see it. Right there. And we found like this natural fortress area for all kinds of bendovers. Like they almost made a shelter right there, if that was purposely made. And then there's a fortress of trees. Great place to escape the wind, the rain, and the snow. And there's a squirrel cache here. Make sure you watch to the end. I'll put a little bit of game cam footage that we've captured in this area. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching. Oh my God.
There's like moaning.
You heard it too?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Derek and I just got done setting up some game cameras, and on the way back, the opposite side of the trail that we've heard all the action, we heard some vocalizations off that way. I heard a whoop and then kind of a gasp, and what did you hear?
It was more like a moan.
And then you just heard a moan. That was odd. No, I've spent my life fishing, hunting, and hiking, and I've never heard as much weird stuff as I do now going to places that people see Bigfoot. I don't know if there's a correlation there, but I don't recall fishing, hunting, and just randomly hiking, hearing the stuff that I do now.
We're a lot more heightened to it though because of what we've been doing.
But we
You know
were
what I mean?
we were
placed
walking.
ourselves in a mindset to listen to hear, to see.
But we
stuff
were
out of the
we were
ordinary.
completely distracted. We were in an in-depth,
Conversation.
casual conversation, and then just heard that.
Just heard it, yeah. More like a muscle memory. It's just more in the back of our head.
We
Always listening.
we have noticed that we hear more vocalizations while our group is having hiking conversations than not. And I think if it's Bigfoot, they'll communicate when they know that we're preoccupied, that we're probably less in tune to hear it. And so when people give us a hard time that we have casual conversations while we're hiking, we want to look like we're hikers that aren't a threat. We don't want to come off as hunters. We've tried that. And we find we get more action when we casually hike around having conversations.
Like when we were on that hike, me, you, Brody, and Jen, we were just casually talking that whole time, and that thing turned into a blow up. I mean, knocks,
Behind Stanley
hollers,
Lake?
tree stand.
Yeah.
I mean, that went nuts.
That went crazy.
And that was just casual conversation, just us out there walking, having a good time, keeping an eye on stuff.
That's one of the reasons we go there, is because of the Bigfoot sightings, and that's where my dad and uncle had a Bigfoot sighting. My dad and uncle were laying out by the campfire that had died, sleeping out in the open, and it come through camp, shaking the camp, and its hair brushed up against my dad's leg, and he sat up, my uncle sat up, and they watched a Bigfoot walk out of camp. It's one of the things that brings me in there, and I was telling my dad about it like 6 months later, and my dad looked at me like I was full of shit, like I was full of crap, and it's like, what? You're the one that had it brush up against your arm there. And then I told him, I go, well, you need to go watch the video, Dad. I go, it's not just a story. Yours is just a story.
Yeah.
We actually had an experience captured on camera. We got the wood knocks, the vocalizations. It's a really good video. So it's funny, even though my dad had that experience there, he's looking at me like, what?
Bullshit.
Uh-huh.
I was like, come on.
Yeah, I just told him, I go, we were having interactions, and we didn't provoke the interactions. It started the wood knocking and the vocalizations.
That is nightshade is what that is.
So those are non-edible?
Non-edible.
Yeah, that's why there's so many ripe ones left there. The animals must not like them either.
Red says, leave me alone. But
Red, you're dead, but I've eaten raspberries and strawberries that were red.
That is absolutely nightshade, man. Big lots of it.
Yeah, it looks like it is like an ivy or a...
My understanding, it's kind of like an ivy. It grows. It's pretty wild, and it's hard to get rid of. You just got to stay on top of it to get rid of it. I actually have it growing in my backyard, so I have to keep an eye on it and keep clearing it out. Tordon. Snap them roots and then just put a little dab of Tordon on top of them suckers, and it usually takes out the roots and everything. But
I always, when I see something that's non-edible like that, it makes me often wonder, is there certain animals besides a billy goat that can eat those?
I killed my sister's dog.
Ooh. No bueno. All right, well, there's a look at the Black Mountain. There's a lot of Bigfoot sightings. There's a history of them around this mountain, down into the valley of Manaway, all the way over to Wellsville. There's enough sightings in the area, including here at the base of Black Mountain, that it brings us in here to look around for Bigfoot. We'll show you what's been on some of the game cameras at the end of this, so make sure you watch to the end. Derek and I keep on watching. We'll keep on squatching. Whoop whoop. We've seen a ton of elk and deer. We definitely wanted to get a